So like today we didn't learn any moves. We just wanted to focus on your guys' selling, your guys' reacting, your guys' understanding of what's going on at what point of the match, okay? So like typically in the beginning of the match, right, we do some hold to hold, you know. The match, there's no punches because the match has to escalate to punches. Remember, it's a wrestling match, right? It's a wrestling match. So in a wrestling match, there's no punches and kicks, right? You know, they're tolerated, you know, because this is professional wrestling, they're tolerated. But ideally, it's a wrestling match. There aren't supposed to be no punches, kicks, elbows, biting, you know, clawing. None of that's supposed to happen. The match escalates to that point where it happens, you know. So remember where you're at all times in the match, okay? So in the beginning, if the baby face punches the heel, you know, right at the beginning, is he really so much of a baby face? No, you know. No, he's not, you know. Why? Because it's a wrestling match, you know. That's technically like a dick move, right? If me and Z are like, hey, let's have a wrestling match, and he punches me in the face right at the end of the match, right? That's a dick ass move, right? So you guys have to think of wrestling in that way, you know. So when you guys are in here and we're coming back, I want you guys to give everything, you know, and like give your heart and your soul and like leave it inside of the ring. When you guys are coming back, I want you guys to scream, you know, scream your lungs out, you know. Make sure you guys show everybody that you're passionate, you know. This is the time is here and the time is now, you know. There is no, well, I'm gonna be at the Staples Center someday and that's when I'm gonna get, no, it happens right here and it happens now. You guys gotta create these good habits so that when you guys are out there, it becomes second nature, you know. And then you guys should just be doing it anyways because you guys have lasted this long. I'm assuming that you guys have some sort of passion at least, right? Yeah, right. You guys love this business, right? That's why you guys are here. So show it when you're in here and when you're in this ring. Don't be so complacent and tired and and worried. No, just leave it all out here. You know, even if you feel embarrassed, you know, even if you just do it right here, right now, because these are the people who you guys are going to be coming up with in the business. So in order to get to that level where you feel comfortable in what you're doing, you're going to have to make a bunch of mistakes. You're going to feel embarrassed. You know, you're going to say some stupid shit you probably shouldn't say. You know, but the place to do it is here because it's practice. Okay, so don't feel so shy about coming alive and bringing that energy into inside of this ring, and also having that fighting spirit, because everybody has that fighting spirit, but you guys need to bring it out. Make sure you guys bring it out. And when you're getting your ass kicked, just don't stay down there. You guys are alive. You guys are in a fight, right? If how boring of a fight would it be if me and RJ are wrestling and I'm just whooping his ass the entire time? That's not much of a fight, right? And then the fans are gonna become hit to it and think like, okay, this may be a work, or they're not really hitting each other, or man, this guy's getting his ass kicked. Why is he even in the ring with him, right? You got stay alive, okay? Remember to stay alive, and also remember to come in here. Remember to sal and keep your head up. Okay? Keep your head up. So if I'm fighting and I'm punching, I don't want to put my head down. Why? Because he can't see me. 2, I can't see him. 3, there's no eye contact, And 4, I don't know what he's gonna do, and he doesn't know what I'm gonna do because I'm not looking at him. All right. And also, 5, the fans can't even see me. There's no eye contact. They don't know what I'm feeling. You need the fans to know what you're feeling in order to get to all these scenarios, so that when you come alive, they already know, they feel that emotion. Everybody knows what it feels like to get picked on, in one way or in life or the other, one way or another. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's picking on me, And I have to show the audience that I'm pissed off. And in their head, they might not have never stepped into the ring, but they probably have been to school and they've been bullied, They've been to school and they were bullied when they crossed the corner just to go to their house, or maybe their boss is bullying them, or whatever it may be. We all go through certain portions of our life where we feel these feelings, And you need to connect with the audience. And the way we connect with the audience is by looking at them and showing our face, all right? If you're punching him and your head is low, or you're selling and your head is down, you're robbing the audience of this portion of the match. And it's like you're reading a short story, but you're not giving them the novel, You're giving them the summary, but you're not giving them all the important parts, When fucking when Batman is dangling and then he has this whatever moment with Robin or whatever, you're robbing the people of that dramatic moment, okay? So remember, when you're fighting, you come alive. Oh, you show people that you're pissed off. He grabs you. You hit him again. Oh. You show people. You have to look. show this guy, show that guy, show everybody over here. You know, remember that what made Hulk Hogan so good. Like he always says that he was a decent wrestler, but what made him so special to me was his ability to connect with the audience. You know, and if you watch him sell, right, you'll see that he looks over here, and then he looks over there, and then he looks over here, and then he looks over here, and then he goes like this, and he looks at all the people up there, and then he starts going like this, and everybody sees him at first, and it's almost like he made eye contact with everybody because he was looking at everybody, and then now people are emotionally invested into it, and that's why the arena went crazy. It wasn't because he was just firing up, it was because he was acknowledging the audience in every single degree, you know, and you have to realize that. Remember, you're not wrestling just him, you know. You are performing in front of an audience, right? You're performing in front of an audience, and the camera has to be on your face, and then they have to see your face in order for them to understand what's going on, you know. Like I always say, what if, like one of my favorite matches ever was Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, you know, at WrestleMania, and I don't remember the match like to a T, but the one moment that I do remember in the match that was my favorite moment ever was when Bret Hart had Stone Cold in the sharpshooter, and Stone Cold was bleeding, and he was gushing blood, you know. And at one point he lifted, and I thought he was gonna pass out, but he lifted himself up, and he was bleeding, and he was screaming into the camera. He knew where the camera was, and he fed to it, and he screamed, and he was clawing, and he was almost trying to grab the camera, and I'm over here watching it on VHS when I'm like 6 years old, you know, and then I'm seeing him like reach, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, he's reaching to me, he needs my help. I'm like, oh no, Stone Cold, you know, and then I always remember that, and then he ends up passing out. But if that moment had never have happened, I probably would have never remembered that match, you know, it wouldn't have been the match, it wouldn't have been my favorite match, just because that moment made the match to me, and it all led up to that one moment where Stone Cold showed that he, I would say, was an ass kicker, and that he kind of like, you know, he was a vigilante type of like hero, you know. He didn't take shit from nobody. He wouldn't quit, you know. He was just a fucking badass, you know. And everybody loves the badass, you know. Everybody loves the badass. So don't rob the people of their moment, you know. So when you guys sell, don't have your heads down. Keep your heads up. Remember to keep your heads up. Show the audience your face and your emotion, because that's the match, you know. The match isn't the moves. The match is the emotion that comes with the moves, you know. I always say the moves will come and go. It doesn't matter what way you have good moves or not. Look at The Rock. The Rock's move is an elbow drop, you know. It's just the way he sold it, you know, and the way he brought people in that fucking moment that made it that, you know. And ideally, it wasn't a crazy powder. It was just a move, you know. So I want you guys to start watching matches, you know. I gave you guys all the pointers. I gave you guys the 7 points, right? Those 7 points. I want now when you go home, I want you guys to watch matches and look out for those points. Be like, okay, this is, and like, watch your favorite matches. Like, what I do is I always watched my favorite matches growing up when I was a kid, like The Rock versus Stone Cold or whatever. You know, I'd be like, okay, what part's the shine? What part's the cutoff? You know, what are the false comebacks? When's the comeback? You know, and this is the finish. And I break it down, and I'm like, okay, that was a good match because of this. And then sometimes you might see that they might switch things around, you know, or whatever it may be. But remember, when you guys are watching wrestling now, you have to look out for that stuff. And right now, look at what I want you guys to really look out for right now are the comebacks. Look at all your favorite wrestlers. Watch their comebacks, you know, like the typical people who have really distinctive comebacks that you could like recognize are John Cena, Kofi Kingston, right? Randy Orton, you know. Oh, they just have the typical comebacks everybody just remembers. But I want you guys to watch, watch some new stuff, watch some old stuff. I always say Ricky Morton is one of the best faces of all time, all right? I want you guys to go home and maybe watch a Ricky Morton match, right? He's usually in a tag matches, but I want you guys to watch when he takes heat, how he takes heat, how he doesn't just sal into weird positions, how he sals into a position that makes it easier for his for the person he's working with to do something else, to get to that next point. He's in sal right here to a weird position so where that his opponent has to move him. He's already at the corner. He's already standing up or whatever, maybe. He's already saling right here, you know, trying to get help from the audience, and then he gets choked, you know? He's just look out for things like that. What makes a good face, you know? A good face sells for his heel, he puts his heel over and he makes it easy for his heel to get his heat. They can draw the negative energy. So if I get punched in the face, I'm gonna crawl here so that he could choke me, so that everybody is more pissed off, so that when I come back, it's better for me.